Hi guys! Welcome to Maudi's Thoughts. Today is a fun topic karena as you all know, I recently turned 30. Ya, pokoknya namanya reaching kinda like that new stage. Jadi kepala tiga gitu tuh pasti refleksinya banyak ya. Dan aku juga sempat diam sejenak dan refleksi tentang apa aja sih sebenarnya yang aku udah pelajarin in my 20s. What was my 20s like? How do I feel about the things that I've done, I've learned, all those things. Dan aku pengen share beberapa di sini sama kalian. Tapi as usual, while making a fun drink. Today we are making bone broth hot chocolate. Let's see how I do. Come. Babe, I'm gonna be vlogging in the kitchen area. No, it's okay. I'm already vlogging right now, so there's no problem. Where do we start? Oke, aku ada beberapa ingredients di sini. Cocoa powder, Korean collagen beef broth, a little bit of vanilla extract. Let's see how we do. Kayaknya sih prosesnya we just heat up the collagen bone broth. Oh my gosh. Aduh. Dia masih agak frozen gitu loh. Oke, sambil aku kerjain ini, aku pengen sharing satu pembelajaran yang aku ambil. Yang pertama adalah crisis is inevitable. Aku tuh bener-bener ngerasa bahwa yang namanya krisis di umur 20-an itu tuh kayak nggak bisa dihindarin gitu loh. Mau itu quarter life crisis, kita bingung, krisis kerjaan, krisis identitas, mempertanyakan hubungan-hubungan kita mungkin, what type of partner do we want to be, what type of child, what type of relationship do we want to have. Itu tuh semua pertanyaan-pertanyaan yang bisa berbuah menjadi krisis. Kayaknya tuh di umur 20-an kalau misalnya aku lagi di tengah-tengah krisis, aku tuh kayak panik gitu. Aku merasa kayak not only am I dealing with the crisis, tapi aku ada pressure bahwa harus cepet-cepet keluar dari krisis itu, atau feeling like I'm alone in this and I shouldn't be feeling it. And I think now it's a little bit more normalized, you know? It's very human to be confused, to not know where you're going at all times. Dan krisis-krisis itu akhirnya jadi kesempatan atau tempat buat aku tumbuh juga sih, to be honest. And I learned the most from those crises. That's the first lesson. And the best people, the most resilient people are the ones who equip themselves with the tools to get through crises and stay optimistic all throughout. So that's one. Okay. It's always hard to do Maudi's thoughts while we're making some food because I didn't know I was such a bad multitasker when it comes to cooking. Because as you guys know, I'm a really bad cook. Okay, let's heat this up. Kira-kira cocoa powdernya berapa banyak ya? In progress. Alright, while we wait for that, aku pengen bahas yang poin kedua, karena poin kedua ini seru banget. Jadi, banyak yang sering nanya sama aku gitu. Sebenarnya rasa kepercayaan diri itu datang dari mana sih? Kayak, I'm not saying that I'm a confident person, cuman mungkin adalah aku ngerasa di 20-an inner confidence aku cukup tumbuh gitu. Dari sebelumnya mungkin lebih pemalu, lebih insecure gitu. Aku ngerasa sedikit lebih settled, sedikit lebih nyaman dengan diri aku sendiri. Nah, setelah aku pikir-pikir, sebenarnya confidence itu dari mana ya datangnya? Aku tiba-tiba disadarkan bahwa confidence itu sebenarnya datangnya dari aksi atau action. Jadi walaupun mantra-mantra di luar sana yang misalnya kamu kayak ngaca setiap hari terus bilang kayak I'm pretty, I'm beautiful or whatever, kayak those kind of words. Even though mantras maybe can help uplift temporarily, tapi kalau secara meaningful gimana sih caranya kita bener-bener jadi percaya diri gitu. Kayak menurut aku it's through action, it's through being able to solve a problem, start from zero, maybe achieve something that you didn't think you could achieve. You know, semua orang tuh punya kayak zero to hero story mereka sendiri. Apapun itu ya, bisa kecil, bisa besar. Dari nggak bisa masak jadi bisa masak, dari nggak bisa main paddle jadi bisa main paddle gitu. Jadi when you go out there and challenge yourself and you surpass your own expectations, itu yang benar-benar ngebangun confidence buat aku. Karena sebenarnya kita semua kan hanya berkompetisi dengan diri kita sendiri ya. When we do things that we set our mind to, that sense of completion, that sense of achievement, it kind of becomes addictive and it makes us trust ourselves a lot more. Kita tuh jadi percaya bahwa anything that life throws at us, we'll be able to deal with it gitu. And that's at the end of the day what drives confidence for me in my 20s. Ooh, ready now. Campur dulu guys supaya dia bener-bener So it's melted. By the way, ini tuh beef broth. I think that's right. Kita bisa pakai broth apapun kok. Aku bakalan pakai cup ini dong. 1 degree hotter. Ini kayaknya waktu itu dia Jessie di waktu aku lulusan. Just some cocoa powder. We put a spoonful and then we mix. I think I might need to add more water. Can you guys see it? Wait, tunggu ya. Kok kokonya nggak terlalu keras ya? Okay, I'm also gonna put a little bit of collagen powder. And maybe a bit of vanilla extract. Alright. Done! Kembali ke ruangan kerjaku. Honestly, hard to make food while doing Maori slots. Oke, aku mau kasih lihat ke kalian karyaku. Man. It's actually quite good. Okay. Cozy. Nah, menurut aku, something that I've learned in my 20s is that most things that everyone thinks is cool, whether it's like on social media or little things dan lain-lain, most things are quite trendy. Dalam arti banyak banget sebenarnya potential distractions di umur 20-an yang mungkin kayak belum tentu sebenarnya bisa jadi bagian dari hidup kamu jangka panjang. And that's okay, by the way. Cuman I think like I wish looking back I'd just been a little bit more true to myself and gak terlalu kebawa peer pressure. Because you know what, guys, like when you get to your later 20s and then early 30s, or at least 30 in my case, I feel a little bit more settled. Kayak it's a lot harder for me to feel pressured by peers atau kayak membuat aku ngerasa terlalu FOMO atau membuat aku ngerasa terlalu kayak apa ya, pengen ngikutin tren banget gitu. Kecuali aku emang suka banget sama trennya juga gitu. Sekarang tuh aku agak lebih susah terinfluence in that way. And I think maybe it's because I'm more comfortable with myself dan aku jadi memprioritaskan authenticity. Dan gimana caranya aku sejujur mungkin sama diri aku sendiri. And that's how I want to show up. And I wish I had done more of that in my 20s because there were a lot of moments yang mungkin aku ikut hanya karena FOMO doang, hanya karena gak bisa nolak, hanya karena belum sepenuhnya menyelaraskan diri aku gitu secara internal. Nah, itu sebenarnya mungkin cukup normal ya, karena yang namanya 20-an kita mungkin belum tahu sepenuhnya diri kita tuh siapa. But that's just like a learning that I have. It's like, ternyata there are definitely a lot of things in life that are just noise, that are just distraction, that are just temporary trends. Dan sebenarnya kalau pada saat itu terasa penting banget, belum tentu lagi gitu, kayak belum tentu kita akan kepikiran lagi gitu, belum tentu gitu itu akan masih relevan dan akan impactful ke dalam hidup kita. Yeah, so you know, why stress, why worry too much? Kayak kalau aku pikir-pikir ya dulu ya waktu aku SMA, aku tuh kayak sibuk banget kerja gitu misalnya gitu, and I didn't get to like hang out as much dan lain-lain, you know, but ternyata at the end of the day, that's kind of fine too. So I think if in your 20s you find it in yourself already to know yourself, terus kamu juga udah punya self-awareness yang tinggi, stick to what feels right to you. Trust in your intuition, trust in your gut, trust when your body and your mind tells you that it's just noise, because it probably is just noise. The things that really matter will haunt you for longer, will usually not come in the form of just social pressure, dan will have other functions juga maksud aku. Tapi ya gitu, kalau buat hal-hal yang sifatnya just strictly social validation, kadang-kadang yeah, maybe it's not that essential, and maybe you can just listen to your own heart too, and it'll work itself out. So those are my 3 points. Nah, dalam refleksi ini, dan karena aku ulang tahun ke-30 juga, aku mau present a gift for you guys. Jadi kita akan ada program spotlight on specifically on navigating your 20s. Karena aku tuh merasa the 20s is a fun time, 20s is an interesting, challenging time. Dan ada beberapa hal yang kayaknya bisa kita kupas deh. Entah itu dunia kerja, entah itu kegalauan-kegalauan tertentu tentang umur 20-an yang bisa kita bahas dengan narasumber-narasumber yang asik tentunya dan aku kurasi. Episodenya udah kita syuting semua, so it's gonna go up soon. So yeah, keep an eye out for it, guys. And thank you so much for listening to me. I'm gonna be here drinking my hot chocolate. I hope you have a good day, good evening, good whatever it is, and catch the spotlight episodes on navigating your 20s. Goodbye, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me.